You know, people say it's demons, they hear voices. Once you're lost touch with reality, you won't hear yourself, you will hear voices.
Mm.
And that is the deeper part of mental health. So it wasn't her at all. So what brought about those voices was a result of very deep pain. Okay, so we call something effect and cause in mental health. Effect means that when you see something as a reason for your pain or problem,
Hmm.
so once you can identify something as
So
this thing
she it
has
was her
been the
daughter that
issue,
was the pain.
yes, exactly. So the thing was telling her, take the pain away.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lade. Today's video is very different, and I'm just going to go straight to the point. I saw a video early hours of this morning, and I'm going to put the link to the full video. The video is too disturbing. I don't think I'm ready to put it on here. I might just put a little clip.
My name is Alisa Oluwafemilola. I'm 22 years old and I'm a student. It was because I killed my daughter. She was 1 year old, 9 months and 4 days.
Okay, but let me tell you what the video was about. It's a 22-year-old lady killed her daughter, and her daughter was sadly 1 year and 9 months old. She killed the girl, and then she submitted herself to the police station. This video was apparently taken by people at the police station that were interrogating her. And so during this interview, she said a few things. I think she took herself there. They asked why she did it. She said there are 5 reasons. And she said financial help. She was tired of her daughter. And she said, what would people say? She wanted to abort the baby from when she got pregnant. She was in a relationship with the baby's father for over a year. And once she told him she was pregnant, they both agreed that they were going to abort the baby. But her older sister said no, that she would take responsibility. And so she had the baby. The older sister has been taking responsibility, but according to her, she's not satisfied. She was not satisfied with it. And she had been thinking about how she would take the baby's life. She said she had thought about strangling. She had thought about putting a pillow over the baby's head. And then her sister told her that she had a dream about water, that they should be careful. She should not leave the baby in the bathroom with water. And then that gave her a smart idea that water would kill the baby fast. She decided that she was going to put the baby in that water. So she put the baby in first, with leg first, and the baby was able to struggle and push up the cover. Then she saw that the water was not full enough, so she added more water. She put the baby in and the baby still struggled. Then she decided to take the baby out, turn the baby head down, and put the baby head down into this container. And then she closed it. The baby was struggling until she could not struggle anymore. And then she took the baby out. She had said that earlier that day when she was getting ready, the baby brought her own clothes and she was giving it to her to put it on for her because she knew that she was going out. She wanted to follow her. And so she told the baby at that point that you're not following me today, you're dying, I'm killing you today. And she told the baby, when I'm done killing you, I'll go to the police station. So at the police station, she was telling them that they said, do you realize what you have done? She said, yes. They said, sorry guys, this has been a lot to take in today. She said they could go ahead and put her in jail, that she's better in jail than outside, that she'll take any judgment that's given to her. And then she also mentioned at some point that she loves her baby. And then when they asked about her sister, she said the sister loves the baby too, that sometimes she thinks she shouldn't have done it, and that if she didn't do it, she would be currently at the house now, maybe playing and laughing with the baby. So when I saw this video, I immediately was reminded of a few things. And one of them was the concern I had for women, especially since I moved back to Nigeria. I live in Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria, and one of the things I noticed is that a lot of women, a lot of people who are like the highest stage of mental illness, we call them mad. A lot of mad people you see, and see, this is something I have to explain it, because if you're watching me and you're not You don't understand the third world countries. People who are mentally insane or mentally sick, you know, are left to just roam about, and they really just roam. You know, they look very dirty. They look like they're not part of society, but they're part of society. Do you guys get? I don't know why, but I never noticed a mad person per se in the US. I mean, there's homeless people that would look dirty, but and then most times those people, some of them have mental illnesses, but it was nothing like Nigeria. Nigeria is really bad. Like, these people are displaying, some of them are even naked, yes. And so something I noticed since I moved to Abeokuta is that a lot of these people are ladies, women, different ages. It's not restricted, different ages. And it got me thinking that we don't take mental health seriously. And I was just thinking about how did this girl get to this point? Because if she didn't want to have the baby in the first place, she ended up having the baby. And from the time she had the baby, most likely has dealt with some kind of postpartum depression. But what I did was I called one of my friends, my close friends here in Abeokuta, Sheon Lakute. Sheon Lakute is one of the directors at the JNEC Foundation. The JNEC Foundation is a foundation that I volunteer in, and mainly their area is sexual abuse. This is not their field. It wasn't they're not experts in terms of mental health, but she was the first person that came to my mind. So I called her and I said, have you seen this video? And she said yes. And I said, what are your thoughts? I'm about to make a video. I need your thoughts so that I can include it, you know. And she told me her thoughts, but then she said I need to talk to a professional to get professional thoughts. So thank you so much, Sheon. Sheon gave me the link to Bookies, and I went on her Instagram page. Her contact information is there. I called it, and immediately she picked up, and I was able to explain what, you know, the issue was and how I wanted her view. So a professional opinion, so that when you guys watch, you can hear what a professional has to say about this and what we can do in the end. So, but just before I play the clip of Buki and I want to read a part of the Bible. Is in 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and starting from verse 4. It says, the weapons of our warfare are not physical. Most translations says carnal. I'm reading from the Amplified. They're not flesh and blood. Our weapons are divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. We are destroying sophisticated arguments. Sophisticated arguments. Some translations say thoughts. But this is where I get to. We are really, that is the warfare that we're facing. First, in the mind. When God created us, He created us spirit, soul, and body. Body is your physical health. If you don't take care of your body, if you don't watch what you eat, then you get sick. Mind is your mental health. If you don't take care of your mind, what you take into your mind, then you can get sick. And that's really mental illness. And that's why we need to pay attention to mental health. The third one is your spirit. If you don't take care of what goes into your spirit, what you allow in your spirit, then you can get sick. And that's just the reality of it. So I want you to hear from an expert opinion. And I also really want to hear from you guys in the comment section. This is the first time I'll do a video like this, but I just felt like this one, the nudging was just too much. I could appeal to it because I have a 2-year-old. But that was not really the reason. The real reason for me making this video is to raise awareness about mental health. And I hope that after you watch the session with Buki, you would learn a thing or two. I really hope that you'd learn something. And then please, I'd like for you to share this video with somebody, your family, your friends, because we want to just raise awareness about mental health. Mental health is extremely important. Let me let you watch the video now, and I'll be back to close.
Okay, so I'm just going to go straight to the point since I've already done my introduction before, so I don't take too much of your time.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I'm sure you've seen the video. I just saw it again to refresh my head of what we're talking about. And let me just point out a few things. So she's 22, and she's a student, and she has an online business. But I guess things are bad for her. She gave 5 reasons why she did it. As a mental health professional, what are your thoughts? That's the first question. What are your thoughts? When you first saw this video, what were your thoughts?
Honestly, it's quite unfortunate. I'd seen the video like 3 or 4 days ago. People, started tagging me because, number one, it had to do with mental health. Then, I work with children, parents, and all that. So the first thing that struck my mind was I felt pity for her. And that is unlike what a lot of people would have felt for her. because I was looking at it from the professional angle. I knew that if she had known better, she would have done better. I knew that when I was looking at her, when we are always in sessions with people like that, we don't only listen to them, we look at their body language. Okay. We look at their eyes, if he's still sapped, if he's sunken, if he's rolling. We look at a lot of things. We look at the way they express what is happening or what has happened or what they're about to do. So you see, we look at all those gestures and everything. So, looking at her, I knew that she was not feeling fine. No, okay, she's not in a very good place at all. She has lost touch with reality. In fact, the way she described what happened, she described the killing as if she was not the one that killed the child. Every mental health professional will understand what I mean by that. So it's like she already had it in her head, and it was the voices in her head that actually gave her those,
Ideas.
ideas. Yeah. So she wasn't seeing herself in that situation. So she has lost touch with
Mm.
reality. So people say it's demons, they hear voices. Once you lost touch with reality, you won't hear yourself. You will hear voices,
Mm.
and that is deeper part of mental health. So it wasn't her at all. So what brought about those voices was a result of very deep pain. Okay, so we call something effect and cause in mental health. Effect means that when you see something as a reason for your pain or problem.
Mm.
So once you can identify something as
So
this thing
it
as
was her
being the
daughter that
issue,
was the pain.
yes, exactly. So the thing was telling her, take the pain away, take the pain away, take the problem away. So as at that time, she wasn't seeing her daughter as
As her
her
daughter,
daughter.
she was seeing her
Yeah,
daughter as
she
pain.
was seeing it as the pain. Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying now? Okay, so on the flip side, because as professionals, we don't have the liberty to say, oh, you have depression, you have postpartum mental illness, except when
To
we've done some
diagnose.
psychometric tests. Yeah,
Mm.
but there are some symptoms that you always, things that you
No.
would notice, like signs and symptoms. So she's exhibiting those kind of symptoms. Like I said, she's sick. Obviously, she's sick. She's very depressed. And our own kind of depression is a kind of repressed depression. What that means is she doesn't want to, she has not come to a level where she has realized that what she has done is evil. She doesn't know. That's why she's saying it with all confidence. So she's obviously still repressing the possible pain of killing her child. And that alone is a keg of gunpowder waiting to explode. She's a top 10 patient for psychiatry hospital, as she is, because she knew she was going to do it. We call it suicidal ideation. She had it all worked out, that she even had to tell the daughter that today I'm going to kill you. So it's like she's telling her pain that today my pain is going to go away. All right, so she's obvious she needs psychiatric rehab to forestall a major psychiatric breakdown. It is very important. She is sick with irrational thoughts. So the thoughts that is coming into her mind is poor self-concept. She cannot grasp her own self-worth. She has very low self-esteem. Then she has a very negative view of herself, her child, and the future. You understand? And these things are breathed from maybe poverty, because she says she cannot take care of the child. So poverty, then lack of social support. When she said that her sister, discouraged her not to abort the baby, one of the issues that we're faced in this part of the world is people don't take mental health very seriously. So we take our mental health issues to people who are not professionals. So we seek advice from people who will not give us professional advice. So that was another thing that I saw that she lacked. She didn't speak out early enough. As at the time she was even speaking with her sister, she'd
She
already
had everything
had
planned out,
a
yes.
mindset. Yeah, she already had a mindset. So she didn't speak out early.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's, and at the end of the day, when she spoke, she didn't talk to a professional. She didn't talk to, I'll give you an example of things like this. When people will say, okay, when you say, oh, I'm hurting, I say, no, forget about it now. Since 2 days ago, it's okay, don't worry, you'll be fine. Those things further deepen emotional toxic behavior. So there's this myth around people saying forgive and forget is a scam. Okay, people don't know that forgive and forget is actually a scam. You can forgive, but you can never forget, because the only thing you can do is choose not to remember. There's nothing like forgetting. And
Hmm.
if you try to forget, or if you try to forgive, you need to allow the pain, you need to express the pain to let it go. If you think can repress the pain and you think it will go, it will become toxic into the system. That is a very good example of what happened to this young girl. She didn't get to see someone who can, guide her into expressing every thought, every negative emotion has to be expressed. Okay, just like when somebody will say, "Oh, I'm broke." We have this kind of mindset in Africa. We say, "Oh, I'm broke." Say, "No, I'm not broke in Jesus' name." But the reality is, you are broke.
Yeah. So
Do you understand? You are broke. You need to let people know. But the the power behind that is you don't stay broke. You need to recognize the fact that you are broke. Then you now find
what to do about
solution
it?
to it. Yeah. But you see, a
Hmm.
lot of us don't live in reality. We live in what we think life should be, not what life is presently. So that has always been issues with people. Then number two, people don't even know where to go to. You know, people,
That's
you
my
find
next
people
question.
talking. Yeah, so like is that as if I've jumped into it,
No,
right?
it's okay. You've answered the
So
second one. The third one. Let me ask the third
okay,
one. So they
all right.
always say to seek professional help. To seek professional help, but
Mm,
there's so much
mm,
stereotype. So, for instance, I live in
mm.
Abeokuta, and we have Aru. I don't even know the full meaning of Aru, but it's a psychiatric hospital, and it's a really big
Yeah,
one, and I think it's one of the top
mm,
ones in Africa.
yeah.
However, if you are just even passing by and somebody sees you, they can start talking about it. That so why were you passing
I
by?
get you. Mm,
So that place,
mm,
people even try to avoid passing by, not even going inside. So there's so much
not even
stereotype.
going. Yeah.
And the stereotype, okay, so we already know that there's stereotype. But then if people are not willing to walk into the hospital for help, what should they do? Like as a mom, if I'm having postpartum depression and because I'm knowledgeable about it, I can identify that this is postpartum depression. My baby is crying and I'm
Mm,
angry that she's crying. Like, why can't I pick her up?
mm,
I know
mm-hmm.
what can you do? What can, because I know there'll be a lot of moms watching, or maybe dads to be, or moms to be. What can you do in that case?
Okay, so in this case, we would have to bust what exactly mental health is. A lot of people have a bit of misconception on what mental health is. So anytime I'm having this kind of talk or interview, that is where I actually start from.
Okay.
Mental health is not really psychiatry. Mental health is not mental illness. If you don't take care of your mental health, that is when you now become mentally ill. Do
Hmm.
you understand? So mental health is
It's like
your
physical
state of
health. If you
mind.
don't take care of your
Yeah,
body, then you'll be
you
sick.
understand. Beautiful. It's like spiritual health. If you don't read your Bible, you don't get closer to God, you would be far from God. Do you understand? So that is what mental health is. Mental health is simply the state of your mind per time. That's number one. How is your mind functioning? What do you allow to go in and come out of your mind? That's mental health. Then how are you able to control all those things, the feelings, the emotions that we talked about? You know, you're not supposed to repress your emotion. When you are not happy, I should be able to tell you, Lade, oh, I'm not happy. And people should validate people's emotion. It's because people don't actually validate other people's emotion. That's why a lot of people keep quiet. So we have issues with our mental health. So mental health is you recognizing that, oh, I need to take a break. Today, I don't want to talk to anybody. Today, I don't want to go to social media. I just don't feel like it. And you shouldn't be labeled for it. People should, people should allow other people to feel their feelings. I could tell you something about emotion. A lot of people don't know that there's nothing like negative or positive emotion. There's nothing like that. You are the one that will translate what is coming to you to either negative or positive. Are you aware that some people can be too happy and people perceive happiness to be a good emotion, but it can translate to negative emotion if you are too happy?
Are
Do
you
you agree with
serious?
me?
How?
So yeah, okay. You just won, you just got a car and you're so happy and excited, and you called your friends, to have a ride around the city, or they want to paint the town red, something like that, and you were too happy and you drove, you got drunk and
Mm.
you got into an accident. So that happiness has actually been translated into a negative emotion, because for everything is in life there has to be balance. Anger also is not a bad emotion, like what people think. It is not. Anger is only trying to tell you that something that you don't like is coming your way. If you get
So it's up
angry,
to
something
you.
must have triggered your anger. Yeah. So the anger is telling you, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? That same thing that you got angry with or angry at, somebody
Somebody
else
can
laughed
use
over
it,
it.
yes, and then even
So
interpret it and use it to, yeah.
exactly. So you can use anger negatively or positively, depends on you. So that is where mental health comes in. So when those emotions are coming, you need to understand that, oh, this is anger. And it is your responsibility to identify that this is anger, then you use it positively. You can write an exam and you fail your exam and you are angry, and by the next exam you want to prepare and you don't want to fail. You have translated your anger to a positive emotion. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's how it works. So, but if you don't have very good support system who will not allow you to express yourself, just like what happened to this young lady, she didn't really have someone around her. It is beyond, it is beyond the sister taking care of the girl. What
Yeah, this was,
about
yeah.
the mother herself? Because she's going through a lot of emotions and she has repressed so
Repressed it,
much.
repressed it.
She has so repressed it and it became toxic emotion. That is basically what happened to her. And when emotions turn toxic, they control you. At that level, you don't have any control over it again. They can tell you to do anything. And that's what happens to people who even take their own life. And that's what happened to people who are married, where you see a man stab his wife to death or vice versa. So it happens to everybody. It's just unfortunate that, it was the young girl that was involved. I'm telling you, it may take this lady years to even come to terms that she was the one that killed, her daughter, because she didn't do it consciously. She wasn't conscious. She has lost touch with anything reality. That's why you see people who are mentally derailed, those ones that are the highest level, call them mad people. They are not in touch with you. That's why they go and drink bad water. They just do a lot of things because they don't even know what they're doing. Okay? So, and if you don't allow yourself to express those emotions, they can trigger wrong decision. So repressed emotion becomes toxic and they trigger wrong decision. So for her, she triggered the wrong emotion in her system, and that thing is so spontaneous, and before you know it,
You've already done
the
the
deed
harm.
has been done.
Yeah.
And for some people, they come to terms with it immediately, but for some people, they don't come to terms with it immediately. It takes a while before they now. I'm telling you, maybe by the time she's going to snap out of this dilemma, she will start asking for her daughter, and everybody around her will be like, excuse me, what is happening? But as a professional, we know where she's coming from, because we know that she didn't do it with
I understand.
consciousness.
Oh my God.
Yes, our unconscious has become toxic, and something else, is controlling that part of her mental health. So mental health basically is how you feel per time. You have to be very careful so you don't cross the border. You have to be very careful so we call it something self-awareness. You know your border, you know your limits, you know what you can do. Then as much as possible, pain is part of life, then you must be able to live with pain. God kept pain, anger, anxiety for us to be conscious. If you are not anxious, okay, if you are not anxious in your consciousness, you will just run across the road without checking left or right. So God actually kept anxiety for our body to be in equilibrium so that we can do check and balances. If you don't have a bit of anxiety like that, you won't bring us together this evening, because that anxiety
Yes.
came and said, oh God, this thing, oh, you wanted solution. So, but the difference between you and her was you were able to put it in control, but she wasn't able to put it in control. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So
Yes.
everybody, I told people that sent the video to me, I said this can happen to anyone at any time. So no one is a saint when it comes to mental health. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to find support system. You have to find people who
Okay,
will
support
believe
system.
you. Who
So this is,
we call, okay,
go ahead, finish that thought.
yeah, we need to really embrace something we call talking therapy. I do it a lot in my profession, where people just come and they just talk. I won't say anything. We just find
Like
something we call the
venting.
dumping ground. Yes, just vent. Once you're able to vent and express those things, you feel a bit better. So we need, a lot of people to start coming out to express themselves. Leave stigma, because if you die, the stigma still remains. I tell people, stigma is there, fine, but this is about you. This is about
Life
what you
and
want
death.
for your life. And yeah, so it's not something you go to heaven and you come back. Once you're dead, you're dead, and that is it. Everything has gone with whatever
And the stigma will
whatever
still
decision you
stay.
have taken, that,
But if
and
you're
the
able to
stigma will still
manage
stay.
the situation properly, the stigma can fade.
In
That's the
fact, give
difference.
that stigma 2 weeks. We see these things happen every time.
That's the
By two
thing.
weeks,
People are
everything
forgetting.
is gone.
Everybody's
Another
moving on with
story
their
has
life.
come.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you are better as well. So that is why people need a mental health expert, psychologists, professional counselors. I said professional because we have counselors. I'm sorry, we have church counselors. Pardon me. And I'm not using my corner mouth to say that. We have a lot of advisors. When people come to me and say, "Oh, this is happening to me, please advise me," I tell the first night I said, "I am not an advisor. I don't give people advice. What I do is I counsel. I take you through therapy sessions and I guide you. So I am not in the position to tell you what to do, but it is my duty to find it's within you. Every solution in people's life is within them, but our own job is for us to, for us
Find
to
it.
help them to find it. That's all. So if I start telling you, hey Lade, okay, you know what you're going to do, cook rice, put stew, then I'm counseling you. And if I'm advising you, and if I'm advising you, I'll be biased, I'll be judgmental. So that's why you see a lot of people who advise, if I'm the one, I will not take it. What kind of nonsense is that? But that is not how
Yeah, you can't
experts
even
do.
say what you do if you're the one, because we have not, it hasn't happened
Exactly,
yet, so we don't even know how you will deal with
exactly,
it. It's like somebody
exactly.
saying,
So
if I eat
people,
a lot of cholesterol, I will not have heart attack. Okay, okay, eat it first.
exactly, So you cannot criticize the pain that you have not experienced. It's not
Oh,
possible. You can't
word.
criticize it.
Tweetable tweets.
Yes,
You cannot
yes,
criticize the pain you
you
have
can't
not
criticize the
experienced.
pain you have. You can't. You can't, because your reality is different from my reality. My emotional experiences, my belief system, everything is different. Your map is not the territory. That's what we say in psychotherapy. So because you have a mindset of something doesn't mean what
That
I
is
have
it.
about it that it's contrary is
Yes,
wrong. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing right. It just depends on what you believe. So those are
perspective.
the things that make stigma comes in place. When people say, oh, this one is this, it's because you have a different reality to what the other person thinks. So that's why a lot of people don't come out. But we are ensuring that we do a lot of advocacy, to make people understand
Awareness.
that mental health is a normal health. It's just like your spiritual health, your physical health, every other health that you can think of. And there's no health without mental health. We can treat that as well. There's no health whatsoever. Even if you're not mentally fit, you can't pray. There's no health without
That's
mental health.
true. That's true.
You can't pray. You lose your appetite. You start running away from socials. Everything will just change. But once you have your mindset in place, every other thing will
You know
follow and
what? It just
everything will be
reminds
fine.
me of how God has made man. He made us spirit, soul, and body. The soul is the
Yeah.
seat of the mind, and that the soul,
Yes.
the health of the soul is the health is your mental health. So as
Yes.
important as your
Exactly.
body and your spirit are, your mind is equally as important. This is so powerful.
Exactly.
It's even deeper than,
Yeah.
I
It's
think
very deep.
I want us to end on this note. So there's not we can't do a lot, because I mean, how many people can you reach? How many people can the amount of mental health professionals that are available in the whole world, are they enough for the people that need the service? I don't think so. But that support system you're talking about, for people watching this, how can you help? What are some practical steps? And I know you've mentioned some of them, bits and pieces of them, like around when you were talking. When you notice, even if they don't come to you, when you notice some of these traits, and what can you do? You're not a professional. How can you help? And then now refer to a professional. So I want you to help give us a few of that, and then you're just going to close on talking about you would introduce yourself, because we should have done that at the beginning. You'd introduce yourself and say the services you render and how people can reach you.
All right, thank you. So the first thing that I tell people, like you rightly said, we
It's breaking my data. Oh, hello? This thing has been going well since. Okay, wow. When we're about to end it.
the
Hello?
first mantra, self-care. Can you hear me?
Sorry, now you're back. You're back now.
All right. So I say the first thing I tell people is self-care is not selfish.
Hmm.
So a lot of people take care of others by losing themselves, and that is
Hey,
where we start
a lot of
we
mothers,
start
African
losing.
mothers,
Yes,
African
yes,
mothers.
it's a myth for you to say, no, I suffered, I did this. No, it's a myth. You need to, because you cannot give from an empty bottle. You need to be filled yourself. So that is where the self-care comes in place. Okay. It is when mommy is alive that any other person can come and
And
take from
yeah,
mommy. And you cannot give what you don't have.
yeah.
So you need to first of all focus on self-care. Find things that trigger you, run away from them.
Hmm.
Triggers, things that easily beset you. Even the Bible says that if you are,
Flee,
for people who are
flee.
Christians, say free from every appearances of
Appearance of
what
evil.
there are triggers. Your yes, that's number one. Self-care is not selfish. Number two, your yes is as important as your no. And your no is a complete statement. So do not be afraid to say no. So you find a lot of people on that table, they'll say, hey, what will people say now? Hey? If I say no now, hey, it will be as if no, there's nothing, because my self-care is most important. It's because you see me as somebody who is mentally fit. That's why you're even coming to me in the first place. So I will not do beyond my capacity. So if I can tell you a yes, then my
I should be able
yes
to tell
should be
you
as valid as my
that's my
no.
no.
So I shouldn't say, because I don't want people to feel bad. No, I need to feel good for myself first.
Yeah.
It might sound selfish, but it is not selfish. It is called self-care. And indirectly, you are taking care of your mental health, because that is how a lot of people lose themselves. And before you know it, they've lost themselves. Okay. Then number three, which is the last one, focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. So we find a lot of people trying to focus on things they cannot control. An example where you cannot control is another human being. You don't have power over another person. The power that you have is the power of influence. You cannot control another human being. In fact, cannot control your child. You can't control your spouse. You can't control
Yeah.
anyone. The power you have is the power of influence. And it has to come from a positive mindset. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't even influence another person.
True.
So know your limits. What you can control are your thoughts, your what goes to your mind, your thoughts, what you want to eat, things around you. Those are the things that you can control, and you should accept that. Anything outside your reach and out of your control. So people should understand that. Start thinking about what are the things that I have, belabored myself on. That I have turned myself to a Super Mario, Spider-Man, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I can do everything from Nigeria to West. I'm everywhere. No, you must remember that there are a lot of things that you can't control, and you have to let it be. Anything that is in contest with your peace, run away from it. Your peace is your priority. If you see anything that is contesting with your peace, no matter how deep that thing is, please run away from it. So those are the steps by which you have to take care of yourself even before you get through to an expert. In fact, by the time you do all that, to a large extent, you may not even need an expert.
It's like exercise. When you do
So
all of that, you are
yeah,
checking,
it's
it's check and balance. You make
yes,
sure that I'm okay, I'm okay, okay.
yes. Then speak your truth
But what if
every time.
somebody comes to
Always speak
you,
your truth.
somebody comes to you
Yeah.
and says, for instance, I mean, if I'm a pastor's wife, if somebody comes to me and or maybe a husband, is newlywed, they just had a baby, and the man is complaining that the baby is crying, the woman is not picking the baby up, it's taking her so long. We notice that she doesn't have any affection for the child. Before I refer them to a professional, what are some things that I can help out with that would be like an intervention, just to kind of what can I say?
Yeah. Now that is very important. And another thing that we are trying to do as professionals is we are trying to penetrate churches. I wonder what people tell. I wonder what married counselors tell couples before they get married. Okay, so there's something we call premarital counseling. These are the things that we're supposed to have done. There are a lot of psychometric tests that couples are supposed to go through, self-discovery, personality tests, sexual compatibility tests. All those things are very essential. There are some very important questions that you're supposed to have asked the couple before they even get married in the first place, because there are things that are normal that will come to them. So if we had done all those, I in my practice I say something. There's a slang that we say prevention is better than trauma. So there are some things that would have even prevented before they even come to shore. All right. So, but if unfortunately they are not able to go through premarital counseling, okay, then these three things are the things that you need to let them know, because family life is another thing
Okay.
entirely.
Okay.
Family life is another thing entirely. So I think maybe somehow you have to start dropping it one, bit by bit, in the sermon, in the encouragement, the motivation. Just let them know that they need to take care of themselves. Nobody owe anybody anything. If you decide to do, it's fine. If you don't, nobody should put you under unnecessary pressure. There are a lot of expectations in marriages because of the belief system. In
Yeah.
fact, there was a seminar I did before COVID. I did a session with married people, over 50 couples, and I asked them a question. Their marriage was between 2 years and 5 years, and I asked them because I said, "Why did you marry?" And I'm telling you that half of
Bella
the audience
Naija.
didn't know. Half of them didn't know why they were married. It was so funny. I started hearing they said I was
It's
wrapping up.
time.
I like
Yes,
that.
it's time.
So people don't even know why they get married to people. So then that is even the basis of issues in marriage. So we have a lot of marital psychometric tests that we allow them go through. So by the time you are even married, there are a lot of things that you must have known about your spouse that will not become a trigger. You already know, and you decided to go through with it.
Whew,
So those are the things that we need to put in place
this has
before we
been
know
a
that,
lot.
oh, okay, yeah, it's a lot.
Ah,
It's a lot.
but it's necessary. It's necessary.
Yeah.
I am grateful that this has been a learning opportunity for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people watching. So how can people contact you?
All right. My name is Bukola Lame. People call me Bookies. I am the therapy queen. I do a lot of things around therapy. What I do basically is I create relatable emotional solutions for families, fathers, mothers, children, couple. I make sure that everybody becomes human back, because we've all lost our humanity state. Everybody is following, oh, I want to become like this. But we have to come to that, you know, um, that default setting called humanity, because we are first human before our religion, before our tribe, before belief system came in, before all the, things that the society dumped in our system. So I help people to come back to their default setting, which is humanity. So I make sure that your emotional and mental wellness is in a stable position. That's my job basically. So you can reach me on via my social media status, my
Your
Instagram
Instagram.
handle.
Yes.
Yes, I am Bookies. I am Bookies is
I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the
all
screen.
right. So BKKIAS Bukola Lamid. You can reach me via my Facebook. You can reach me. By the time you reach me on Instagram, I'm sure we'll take it up
I
from
can
there.
testify because after Shehu recommended you, I called your hotline and that was it. So let me just say thank you so much again. I'm literally just going to put this video
A pleasure.
on YouTube, but I'll do like an introduction and all of that. But thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you too. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
All right.
Okay, bye.
That was a lot. I want to say thank you so much again to Bookies. I would add her social media handle right now on the screen. You can contact her. I want to just highlight a few things that she said. She said a lot. But then I want to kind of end on this note. You cannot criticize the pain you have not experienced. And I want us to remember that even while you're putting your comments. I know a lot of people might be upset, when I saw it on Adiola Fayo's Instagram page, people are saying if I see how bitter, blah blah blah. Although we're allowed to have our opinions, I just want to tell you that you cannot criticize the pain that you've not been through. And my prayers are with this young lady. I forget her name right now, but I just pray for her and everybody who is really going through this type of thing. One of the things that Buki said is that we should do more of listening. Sometimes just listening to people vent. So venting is not actually a bad thing, and you don't bother people when you're venting. So if you feel like you need to vent, please send an email to contact@ladedeo@gmail.com, and I'll be really happy to read your story and just respond to as many as I can. But you can vent and seek professional help. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let's continue this conversation. Share it with your loved ones, people that you think they need to see this video. This is not what I usually would do. This is your first time on my channel. I make videos about faith, food, family, and lifestyle. Okay, and like I like to say, until next time, guys, please be the best version of you. Thank you. Bye.